It's either 100% that you get on a test, or even if you get 99, you spend time wondering, what did I do to not get that 1%? What did I do? What did I miss? What's wrong with me? Did you know that there's a really powerful aspect to journaling that can help you to enhance your trust in your intuition? And the reason for that is that journaling over time helps you to identify patterns in your thinking and in your behavior. And why that matters when it comes to your intuition is that one of the biggest blocks to be able to trust in our intuition is that we think that, what if this isn't it? The fear of trusting it and making a wrong decision in life. And to be able to alleviate that fear, that's where journaling comes in. And I've had this from my own experience, where the more that I've journaled, and this is a practice that I've done for years, by the way, but there are certain prompts that I've used that have really enabled me to identify the patterns in my life and identify these patterns of where are certain thoughts coming up that don't really serve me? What behaviors are there? For example, where have there been times in my life where I've been able to really trust my intuition, but I haven't, and why? And so the more that you explore those, the more you're able to recognize those patterns. And pattern recognition is a huge deal because it's a very special skill that human beings have. And it's actually the basis of all scientific inquiry. But there's also a downside when it comes to recognizing and relying on patterns. And it's actually the one that's really connected to why we often have that block of we want to trust our intuition, but that doubt seeps in and that fear seeps in. And it's because sometimes we find patterns where there actually aren't any. Or especially when we've had experiences, like I said in the past, where you've maybe made a mistake or you've had that little bit of negative experience when you've trusted in your decisions and they haven't really gone the way that you wished for, that can lead to us making a conclusion, drawing an assumption that, well, I can't really trust in this because what if everything goes wrong? Those what ifs. And it's a funny story, actually, because I caught myself tapping into a pattern just before doing this video. I was writing down some ideas that I wanted to really talk about. And one of the ideas that came from my blog, which, by the way, I have a whole blog article on this topic of how you can really use journaling to trust your intuition. So click the link up here and you can check it out and read the whole thing because there's a lot of value in there. But as I was writing these ideas out, I immediately just knew which one I wanted to focus on. And so I wrote that down in my notes. And then this little voice came in and said, but what if there's a better idea? Have you ever had that where your gut just knows and you want to go with it, but then something stops you? And I immediately knew what this was. I was like, okay, hello self-doubt from my past creeping in. And I was tempted to go and follow my old pattern of, spending hours researching following that what if, like, what if there's a better idea? What if there's a better thing that I should focus on? But I didn't, because from journaling, I've really learned to understand myself. And that's an example of why it's so important to catch those patterns, because a lot of them we've picked up on, for example, from our education. How many times did we follow an example in school or just in everything that was taught to us that there's a right and a wrong in life? It's either 100% that you get on a test, or even if you get 99, you spend time wondering, what did I do to not get that 1%? What did I do? What did I miss? What's wrong with me? And so we lose that sense of trust in ourselves in knowing that, hey, life is actually about exploration. And so, as I said, one of the biggest blocks to trusting your intuition is that fear. But something that I've been able to explore through writing down my thoughts and writing down these patterns of mine is to explore those fears and to question them. Because fear is a very natural thing. The fear of making a mistake and failing at something, it's very natural. Or is it? See, that's what I thought. I thought it was natural to have this fear of making mistakes, but it's actually something that we have all learned. is connected to that example that I mentioned about school, that we think that there's a right or wrong in life. And so when it comes to trusting your intuition more, it's important to recognize those patterns and to explore them, because those fears, they actually are not dangerous. And that's a big, big distinction that we need to draw. Is this really something to be feared? Like that's going to be a danger to my life? Or is this a fear of in my mind because it's something that's uncomfortable, it's something that's unknown to me? But just because it's uncomfortable and it's unknown doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. And so by journaling, I've been really able to explore those fears so that when I'm in a situation that is actually in alignment with my greatest self, with my greatest goals, I'm able to feel the fear. I'm able to see those patterns of my past behavior and know where they've been just conditioned behaviors that I've picked up on, and to have that sense of calm and trust in myself to know I am capable of stepping through this. And so that's where journaling really comes in. You build that trust in yourself because you get to know yourself. And that's what really relieves that actual fear in our mind, because fear is also related to not knowing something. It's our mind's natural way of protecting us. But the more we know about ourselves and our tendencies, the more we can trust. And the more we'll also be able to hear our intuition and distinguish, where is this a voice I've picked up on, a pattern from my past, or where is this truly my intuition speaking and I can trust it? And remember that there is actually no mistake that you can make in life. And I think sometimes we try and search for that right answer because we want to avoid certain things in our life. Like we want to avoid failure, or we want to avoid something not turning out the way we expect it to. But understand that we're all human beings. It's part of the human experience, and you can't actually make a mistake. You're either going to, succeed in what you want, or you're going to learn and grow. And in both instances, you've won. And so if you've been struggling to tap into your intuition and trust your intuition, where you do trust it maybe, but not all the time, then I can really recommend journaling, because it will help you to identify those patterns. And when you know your patterns, and when you can really look back as well on the patterns, for example, from times that you have trusted your intuition and what you were feeling, what was going on, the more awareness you have, the more it's going to help you in those moments to make those decisions easier, because you understand your tendencies. And so if you would love to get more on this and understand how can I go deeper, how can I really take some action now and trust my intuition, then check out my holistic journaling prompts, where I have put together the prompts that help me and that I reflect on all the time to really deepen my intuition and trust in it. And it has transformed my life both personally and professionally. So you can check those out. I have the link in the description box as well. And have a look at the blog that we have written about my journey and experience of what journaling has really done to deepen my connection with myself, and how that really transformed my relationship with my intuition. So you can check that out as well in the description box below, or by clicking the link up here. And I will see you again soon. So remember, stay inspired, take action, and everything you need is already within you.